Okay, so here we go then. It is the 31st of December 2017. I'm going to trade with the largest stakes on this one. I'm going to be doing £500 stakes. And as you can see, it's a very small field. There's one heavily favoured favourite. And normally speaking, horses that are at this price are more likely to drift than they are to come in, but that's not always the case. So I highly recommend that when you trade these kind of races, I know it's tempting to raise your stakes just because it's a shorter price, which means you can use larger stakes even with a small bank, but just be careful because you can see the traded range here is huge, right? So it does drift or come in very quickly. So depending on what you're trading, you can quickly find yourself in a big negative position. So yeah, if you want to learn how I trade, then you can click on the link in the description. But for now, I'll pop in a few positions here just to get myself ahead of the queue, and I'll see if I can scalp out a few ticks. I am gonna do scalping based on my. I'm thinking this might drift, right? This is not based on anything else, just by a hunch, all right? So I'm gonna do some directional scalping based on that. I am thinking that it's probable that it might drift. Although, as I'm saying that, the second favourite is drifting out, and so we'll see. We'll see how this develops. I'll pop in a few orders here. So you can see the first one's been taken. So like I said, this is when you need to be careful because it can easily shoot through me here. So I'd rather take a scratch and just be on the safe side as opposed to just sitting there and watching my position get eaten away. Especially when using high stakes. So I'll pop in another order there. I've got a little buffer here of this £2,000, so I've got a bit of breathing room, but there you go. You can see it's shot right through me. So I'll pop it there and leave it a few seconds and see if it gets scratched out. Just pop in another order here. That's been scratched out. That's good. So it's at this point you need to be careful because we're in the last 5 minutes. This is when all the big boys enter the market, and you can very easily find yourself on the wrong side. So you can see the second favourite is coming in, and the favourite is starting to drift. I'll just pop in a few orders here as well, just to try and get ahead of the game. Just get rid of these. Put myself ahead of this 2,000 here. Okay, so you can see now the first favourite is drifting out quite heavily. It's jumping back in again. I'll pop in an order here just to. This order I won't be scalping this out. I'll leave it in with the assumption that it will keep drifting out. So we'll see how this goes. My trade has also been taken on the second favourite here. Same principle applies. It's shot through it, so I'll drop this down one tick with the hope that it gets taken. If not, I'll drop it down one more. So you can see here now I'm in a precarious position purely because I don't want this to crash through the 3 because you can see the massive red here, right? But there's, generally speaking, a little bit of a bounce back, so as you can see, so I'm not too worried. Although I might need to move this down and take a small loss on this side here. Yeah, let's do that, just to be on the safe side. And since before, I'll keep scalping this with the assumption it's going to keep drifting, because this one is coming in quite heavily. So I managed to get out on this one. The favourite is now coming in. Be interesting to see if it drifts out again. Might not. I'll jump in there and try and scratch out this loss here. There we go. Right, we'll see if this continues. So at this point I need to make a decision again. I need to think about this and think, well, is it going to keep drifting down or steaming in, or will it drift back out again? Personally, I think it's going to drift, but we'll see. I'll just jump in here again with another scalp, try and get something scratched out, just to try and reduce my loss a little bit. But like I said, you need to be careful, right? Because you can see how quickly the price moves. It's been all the way up to here and back down again, back up again. So when you're trading a short price favorite like this, you have to be patient. You can't let the market bully you, which is it's a difficult skill to learn, especially when you've got these huge reds, right? It's difficult. So that is just something you have to get used to. Basically, you have to watch the other horses. You have to see what's happening, because that usually, well, always that shows you what is going to come up. So yeah, it's a tricky one. So with a minute left on the clock, that is generally speaking when I'll just get out here. Basically, during the last minute of the time, that is usually when the market is difficult to predict, because it depends very much on the position of the horses. It depends very much on just what's happening on screen. And also remember that whichever direction the horse has been drifting or coming in, people who've been trading long term, so someone who slapped on £1,000 stake 10 minutes ago, they're cashing out. So that usually tilts the direction of the horse. So I usually tend to try and exit before the 60-second hits, just purely for my own preference, really. So you can see there, it's a nice £23 profit. Yeah, and that's trading a short price favorite. If you want to learn to trade like I do, then click the link below this video. You can also check out akawinner.com, which is a football betting system where you can win your accumulators every single time. But if you want to learn how to trade horses, then click the link below in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.